So a quick walkthrough of my Blackout Mini H. This is about the probably 10th time I've rebuilt it after various crashes, but I'm quite happy with the way it is now. So starting at the front, we've got the Sony board cam, which is the recommended camera. I've started off mounting it just wrapped up in foam, but I've switched to using the little carbon fiber insert that comes with now, which is quite good. I'm using the middle lens. I think it's the 32mm or something. It's the one that's not super fisheye and also not super narrow. It's definitely the best. I've turned on the on-screen display so that I've got the park lines. So you've got this sort of parallel lines that help you see what the horizon is and where, whether you're going to be able to fly through particular gaps, which I quite like. That's a built-in on-screen display feature of that particular board cam, which is the Security Camera 2000 board cam. Up here I've got the Mobius camera mounted. I did my Mobius camera mount different to the default Blackout way. I've taken a bit of polymorph and taken the base attachment that comes with the Mobius camera, and using a bit of polymorph I've actually created a mount point so that the Mobius mounting bracket sort of is actually what holds the Mobius camera in place. It's a lot stronger and firmer than the thing that comes with the Blackout frame originally. And then I've just mounted some rubber feet under that by melting holes in the actual Mobius base frame. I get no jello. It's really good now. Moving inside, I've got a really cheap little battery buzzer. I haven't managed to get telemetry on this board. I do have telemetry modules, but FrSky telemetry for battery voltage monitoring is a pain because the only sensor that's available right now needs to be plugged into the whole balance port, so I haven't done that yet. I am waiting for Aloft Hobbies to have their X8R2 analog chip back in stock, which then I'll be able to send analog telemetry back through the X8R module. The X8R module, I've taken the plastic off and heat shrunk it and mounted it above the actual Open Pilot Revolution. I put extra standoffs in here just to hold it in place. Also in here I've got a FrSky variometer, which also acts as a hub, but I haven't got anything plugged into it. I use the variometer for landing, which I'll show you in a moment. The battery I'm running is just a standard 1500 milliamp Turnigy Nanotech. I've wrapped it in black heat shrink tube because it looks awesome. Moving back, we've got a polymorph made bracket to hold the Fat Shark Powerline filter in place with an XT60 connector. I really like this because it makes it really easy to plug the power in. It's just so nice being able to quickly swap out batteries and not have to fight with the cables to get them plugged in again. It's really, really smooth and really quick and took about 30 seconds to make. Looks kind of ugly compared to something I could have 3D printed, but damn, it works well. Then I've got the Fat Shark Immersion standard antenna, which probably everybody's using now. Nothing special about that at all. Moving underneath, I built a custom wiring harness which actually runs the video cable to the front. Again, nothing special on that. I don't use the power distribution board. This is the new power distribution board. I think it's version 2. I was flying version 1 and it was working fine, but after a few crashes, I think I must have developed a hairline fracture in the power distribution board because the quad would sort of like cut power every few seconds, like ning, 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 ning. I guess what was happening was the resonance frequency of the motors was causing the power distribution board to flex and temporarily breaking the circuit somewhere. That's a problem with power distribution boards. That's partly the reason why I decided not to run the FPV cable through the power distribution board, just in case that happens again. Like, if the power cuts temporarily and momentarily, as long as you don't lose the video, you can still recover the quad and land it. So I'm using a cable for that. Moving around to the back, I've switched out the X8R PCB antennas, which are great, but just take up too much space for just a little whip antenna or a dipole antenna. I've got one angled out directly out the back, and the other one's taped to the bottom of the quad at an exact opposite angle, a 90-degree angle, so I should have diversity there. The antenna cable that runs from the 600 milliwatt transmitter up to the circular polarized antenna, I found that if that's actually touching these power lines at all, you get a lot more noise. So I've got a little bit of foam in there and I'm really careful to make sure that the I guess the antenna cable never touches the actual power line cables. These are bullet connectors in here, wrapped up in a little bit of black electrical tape. The reason I'm using bullet connectors is so I can take the top plate off completely and separate it from the bottom plate, which makes working on the quad a lot easier. Coming around this side, I'm using, these is the cables, the PWM cables that go to the ESCs. I've just wrapped these in a couple of bits of black heat shrink plastic, which just makes these cables into a sort of plug, and makes it a lot less likely for one of them to actually fall off. It makes it a bit firmer. That's quite good. Using the standard 5030R, 5030 Gemfan plastic blades. These are good. They I break about one every flight, so I don't really want to upgrade to anything carbon fiber. I did have carbon fiber blades on there, but they shattered, you know, like the first time I hit something. So that's basically it. Let's power it up. The little blinking blue light in the front is the cheap 12-volt LiPo sensor and alarm. It's really quiet. I don't think I'm going to be able to hear it if I'm flying very far away at all. But I mostly use countdown timers on my Tyrannus. I'd love to have telemetry there. All my other larger quads have telemetry, and it's really kind of annoying me that I don't have it. I'll just plug the FPV transmitter in. Another nice thing about having the FPV coming off the balance port is that balance port cable's nicely sort of tucked away and nothing hits it. Oops. So turning the Tyrannus on.
Welcome to OpenTX. Flight mode, normal.
I've made a few setups for this particular quad in my Tyrannus. This is the flight mode switch.
Acrobatic.
I run...
Flight mode, normal.
Normal is just normal attitude mode. So yeah, normal is just normal attitude mode.
Acrobatic.
Acrobatic mode is horizon or ratitude mode, I guess it's called in OpenPilot.
Rate mode active.
And then rate mode for having lots of fun. I don't fly rate mode very much. If I do decide to fly it, I don't want to accidentally take off in rate mode, and I don't want to forget that I'm in rate mode as well.
Rate mode
so I've got it repeating every 5 seconds to remind me.
Acrobatic. Flight mode, normal.
This switch here I use for the controlling the variometer. When the switch is all the way down, it's in variometer mode. If I pick the quad up, you can hear it. It does variometer sounds. When I decide to go in for a landing, before I do that, I need to just reset this. Reset telemetry. The reason I need to do that is I need this to come down to 0 meters so that it's zeroed at takeoff altitude. I guess barometrically we're at 42 meters altitude here. So by resetting this down to 0, I can do this, which is put it into landing mode.
Meters, 0.1 meters, 0.1 meters, 0.2 meters, 0.6 meters, 0.6 meters, 0.5 meters, 0.4 meters, 0.3 meters, 0.2 meters, 0 meters.
Yeah, so that's landing mode. It's quite useful when you're trying to land in a small area and you don't have room to zoom in, so you can't really see where you're landing, and you're sort of descending blind with your FPV gear on. It's not super accurate. It's accurate to about 20 or 30 centimeters, and it drifts up and down. I haven't flown that yet with the blade spinning. It's probably even less accurate, but I'll find out later today. So that's a quick look at my Blackout Mini H and all the things that I've done with it so far. It's except for not having battery telemetry, I'm pretty happy with it, and it's awesome fun to fly.